So I thought I'd show you guys a little bit of how I work. I don't know why, but that I do actually work, not just build stuff. So here's the one of the tracks for the Harassed. That's all you get to hear right now. I'm actually mixing in headphones right now because I need to do it fast or somewhat fast. And it takes a lot of time to go to the studio just to sit on the bus and wait and do changes and tweaks that the band wants, so might as well do it here. Some people hate mixing in headphones. I'm actually kind of one of them. I don't really like it, but I have been learning how to do it. It just takes a bit more time because I need to listen to a lot more reference tracks and listen to the tracks more. And then I have these crappy computer speakers to listen to and the laptop speakers, which are actually my favorites because they reveal, or they don't reveal, a lot. So if your levels are way off and the snare is way too high, that's the only thing you're gonna hear. So it's perfect for setting levels and sometimes even EQ and in the top end at least, and the bass and everything. So I don't know how easy it's gonna be to see, but I have all the tracks in one single session. I mean all the songs in one single session. We recorded it that way, and I don't see a reason to split them up and have one session for each song. It's kind of easier to work like this and get a very consistent sound on all the tracks, especially since I was very careful when we recorded it to make it sound as perfect as possible. So what I have done is, when I bounced them down, I added Stephen Slate's Virtual Console collection, which is so fucking awesome. It's unbelievable. And I also added a tape emulation, which sounds very, very good. I normally use a pretty transparent setting, but this time I had a medium saturation, so it really gave the track some crunch, but I don't think you really can hear it. I mean, it's not too obvious, it doesn't sound like crap, but it gave the track some thickness. And then on the drums, I triggered everything actually, but I used sounds that's very close to what we recorded, and it's mainly for the kick and snare. I wanted to keep the original tracks and not gate them out, so it's more there to enhance the actual punch, so I can have the original there as much as I can and just get a little bit more definition and punch from the triggers. And on the toms, I did gate them. I used this sidechain gate, so I triggered the toms and then I sidechain gated the toms to trigger the gate of the original, because just to clean it up, because it was way too much bleed when it all got compressed and equalized and everything, so I couldn't get the sound I wanted without gating them. This is actually a free compressor I absolutely love on a lot of stuff. And on the bus, the drum bus, I'm using Steel Slate API, Get the Punch. This free, really nice back sandal EQ and SSL comp. I normally use the API comp, but I think the SSL has a more a darker sound to it, which I normally don't like, but for this project it was absolutely perfect. And then the overheads is this Neve like EQ. I think I used that on the Thompson. I don't think it's free, but close to it. And then I have on all the tracks, including this, the drum bus, I have the parallel compressor, which is again the DC1A, because it sounds so good. It's compressing the shit out of it. And I have on the individual tracks, I have the transient designer, and I also have some distortion on some tracks. And then the bass, I have 3 tracks. It's actually the same, but I've done some different stuff to it. It's a DI clean, don't have anything done to it. Then I have a bass amp, which is the Ampeg SVX emulation, and I bounced it down so I don't have it here, just to free up some space. And then I have a bass distortion, which is a Sans amp free plugin, and also a tube distortion unit thing. I don't remember its name, but and then I bust them together to a bus where I have the Neve like EQ, and I have a FET compressor, and I've sent it to the parallel compression. I have the transient designer, and I have more distortion on it. Then the guitars, I haven't done much, just some parallel compression, cut some low end, boosted a little bit highs, solos, no compression, just some reverb, some delay. On the vocals, the main vocals, I have this free Quasa incorporated back sandal EQ, boosted a bit of highs, boosted a bit mids, just a bit, because since I was recording it through the 1173, I did a lot of that in there. And then I have parallel compression, distortion, reverb and delay on it. And then on the overdubs I have the Optron 3A. It sounds really good for a free compressor. Again, parallel, distortion and reverb. And then I have the choir part, which is parallel, distortion, reverb, room reverb, and another reverb. And then I have a synth, which is basically everything on it. And then I have the aux sends, which is not a lot actually. The parallel compression and the SPL and the distortion, which is this one, free. Sounds extremely good, but it's not very stable, unfortunately. But it's sounds great. Room, reverbs, impulse. Reverb here is actually just the classic audio, Kärhus audio, with the chorus on it, just to thicken it up. And there's the delay. I don't have it set to actually timed, it's just more of a slapback style delay. And then same chorus. Then on the mix bus it's of course VCC and the SSL. And what I do is actually I have all the sends and everything set to a moderate level, one where it's there, but you can't really hear it unless everything else is quiet. And what I then do is I automate it. See if I can see right there. Automate it here. Oh, this is just pan. Which is also, I have all the tracks, all the dubs and everything, since it's not the same on every track. I have them all panned in the middle, and then I pan it with automation to place it in the stereo field. And then I have, for example, the drums somewhere here. I added reverb, and actually 2 reverbs on one part, and I've done the same with the vocals, and a bit more on the vocals. Well, not on this track, but here, for example, I added reverb and delay, tails, and everything like that. So I have all the tracks on the same session, like I said. And constantly tweaking and everything. Right now I have the mix pretty much where I want it. There's maybe just a couple of things to do, and I'm sending it to the guys so they can listen and maybe go through the tracks. Let's see, here's the kick, the sum of all the kick drum tracks. Sounds like this. Fair amount of bleed, but I actually think it adds to the whole picture of the kick, of the kit, of the drums. Here's another one with snare. Again, pretty much bleed, but it still has the definition, and I've added no, actually I didn't. I thought I added the reverbs to the trigger track because to not get the bleed, but apparently not. Oh well. Tom 1. That's it. Not that fun. Tom 2. If I have one there. They're also summed together to one track. Tom 3. Let's see if I got Tom 3 anywhere. Oh, there it was. The overheads. Wow, that was kind of strange. I did actually cut. This takes it out, but I had to add this because the hi-hat was getting really obtrusive. Maybe it's a bit much. Oh, there it was. Okay. I don't like the hi-hat sound. Maybe like this. And then try a drum kit together. As you hopefully can hear, I don't know, maybe. The kick drum sounds so much better now. It's more defined and sounds a lot more natural than just soloed. It's because of the overhead, and since I have bleed from the snare, I get some from that, and the overall picture is so much better than the individual tracks. And the bass sounds like this. Pretty defined, not very distorted at all. Here's the DI track. Here's the Ampeg. A little bit of grit. And here's the distortion. And all together. The guitars. As I said, I didn't do much to them, just added some mid-range. Let's see if I can find a vocal, maybe. Somewhere there.
Slowly portray.
You can hear them. The reverb and delay. No. Let's see if I can find a track with some of the here. Some of the real obvious where I've done some automation and stuff like that. You can really hear it on the drums. A lot of reverb, a lot of distortion, and on most places it's not that obvious. It's just some room on individual hits and individual parts just to give it some space and just make it sit in the mix better and make something else happens, just to I don't know, just to make it more obvious that this is a new part, this is the chorus, and this is a break and stuff like that. So I only got one track left to do this on, and as you've seen, I'm still tweaking. Then after all of this is done, I'll bounce them down and start mastering everything, and hopefully not too long they'll have an album which I hope sounds really, really good. I think it does, and they think so too, at least that's what they're telling me. So I'm actually pretty happy, considering I've mostly been using free plugins because they're the ones that doesn't mess up my computer as much. And since I've been mixing in the headphones and not in the studio, and considering it's recorded all live, I think it sounds really fucking good, and I'm happy with it so far. We'll see after mastering. That's it. 20 minutes of uselessness. Or maybe I've learned something, I don't know. So, bye.